The day my father checked my phone was the day I realized my life was not mine. I wasn't doing anything wrong. At least, that's what I believed. My phone was just in my hand, unlocked, on my lap. But when he asked for it, I felt something I had never felt before. Not fear, something deeper. If you've ever had a moment where everything changed in seconds, subscribe. Because this story only gets heavier. It was late afternoon. The sun was still coming through the window, but the room felt dim. My father was sitting across from me, too quiet. My mother was behind him, not speaking, not moving, and my brother stood near the door. Like he was waiting for something to happen. No one explained anything.
Give me your phone.
Then he said it. I didn't argue. I didn't ask why. I just handed it over. Slowly. My fingers didn't want to let go, but I forced them to. And the moment it left my hand, I felt exposed. Not because of what was inside the control anymore. He didn't rush. He opened it slowly. Scrolled. Stopped. Scrolled again. Scrolled again. No reaction, no expression, just silence. Scrolled again. No reaction, just silence. That silence was louder than shouting. My mother looked at me once, then looked away. My brother didn't move, and me? I just sat there, waiting. Who is this? He turned the phone toward me. It was a message. Nothing dramatic. Nothing inappropriate. Just a conversation. But in that moment, it felt like a crime. The weight of it pressed down on me. Not because of the message, but because I was being questioned for having one. Something changed inside me right there. I answered him, calmly, respectfully, but inside, I was thinking something I had never allowed myself to think before. Why is this wrong? That question didn't come out of my mouth, but it didn't leave my mind either. He continued scrolling, checking everything, messages, contacts, even things I forgot existed. Every scroll felt like he was going deeper into my life without permission. And I realized something uncomfortable. There were no boundaries. Not for me. After what felt like forever, he locked the phone, placed it on the table, and looked at me. Not angry, just decided. You need to be more careful. That was all he said. No explanation, no discussion. Just a statement. I took my phone back, but it didn't feel like mine anymore. I held it differently, like it didn't belong to me. That night, I didn't text anyone. Not because I didn't want to, but because I felt watched. Even alone. I sat on my bed, phone in my hand, screen on, and for the first time, I hesitated to be myself. Not outside, inside. That was the moment everything started changing. Not suddenly, quietly. Because it wasn't just about the phone. It was about something bigger. Something I didn't have words for yet, but I felt it clearly. I was living inside rules I never chose. And that realization didn't leave me. If you think this was just a small moment, it wasn't. That moment opened a door in my mind that I couldn't close again. And what came after this is something I was not prepared for. The next morning, no one said anything to me, but everything felt different. No warning, no conversation, just small changes that told me everything. I woke up early, not because I wanted to, but because I didn't sleep well. My phone was beside me. I looked at it, didn't touch it. That was new. Usually, I would check messages first. But that morning, I just stared at the screen. Then I turned it off. Something inside me had already changed. I walked into the main room. My father was already seated. My mother was arranging things on the table. My brother was there too.
Normal. Everything looked normal.
But no one greeted me first. That is not normal. I greeted them, one by one. They responded, but not like before, short, controlled, like every word was being measured. That's when I understood something had shifted. As I sat down, not directly, but clearly. Eyes. Not staring, but aware. Every movement I made felt noticed. I adjusted how I sat, even how I held my cup, without thinking. I wasn't told anything, but I was being observed. No one mentioned the phone. Not my father, not my mother. Not even my brother. But something new was in place. Unspoken. I had entered a space where I was expected to understand. I didn't need to be told. I was expected to understand. Later that day, I stepped outside, just for a moment, fresh air. But even there, I didn't feel free. I turned back faster than usual, like I was late, even though I wasn't. That's when it became clear. It wasn't just inside the house. It had entered me. That evening, I picked up my phone, unlocked it, opened a message, then paused. I read it, didn't reply, locked the phone again, placed it beside me. Not because I had nothing to say, but because I was thinking, should I? That question had never been there before. I sat there for a long time, not moving much, just holding the phone, then putting it down, then picking it up again, like I didn't trust myself anymore, or maybe I didn't trust the situation around me. Then my father called my name from the other room. Not loud, just enough. I stood up immediately, walked in. He didn't look angry, he just looked certain.
Come sit.
I sat, straight, still. He didn't speak immediately, that silence again. That same silence from the day before.
You are growing.
I nodded, didn't know where it was going.
Then he continued.
You need to understand responsibility. No explanation, no example, just words. But I understood what he meant. Not fully, but enough. And that night my father called me. After that conversation, nothing else was added. No rules spoken, but everything was clear. I had entered a new stage, one where I was expected to adjust myself, without being told how. That night I sat on my bed again. Same place, same position. But I wasn't the same person. I looked at my phone, didn't pick it up, just looked at it. And I realized something clearly. My actions were no longer just mine. Even when no one was speaking, something was deciding for me. I lay down slowly, closed my eyes, but my mind didn't rest. Not because of noise, but because of awareness. And that awareness was the beginning of something I couldn't stop. If you think this is just about rules, it's not. I was not allowed to question anything. Not my father, not the rules, not even my own thoughts, because I was the Imam's daughter. At 20 years old, my life was already decided. What I wear, how I speak, where I go, who I become, everything was already written for me. I grew up in a house where discipline was not optional. It was identity. My father was not just a father. He was an Imam. People respected him, feared him, listened to him. And because of that, I had to be perfect. Not just outside, but inside the house too. There were rules for everything. The way I sat, the way I walked, even the tone of my voice. If I laughed too loud, I was corrected. If I spoke too freely, I was reminded. If I questioned anything, I was silenced. And slowly I stopped expressing myself. Not because I wanted to, but because I learned silence is safer. At 20, I wasn't discovering life. I was maintaining rules. Everything had structure. Everything had boundaries. Everything had consequences. And the consequences were not small. I saw it happen to others. Girls who stepped out of line. Girls who questioned too much. Girls who wanted more. They were corrected. Publicly. Emotionally. In ways that stayed with them forever. And I told myself, don't be like them. So I obeyed. Fully. I remember clearly, I was sitting quietly, listening, watching, and something happened that changed everything. I didn't speak about it, not to my father, not to anyone, because I knew the moment I say it out loud, everything changes. So I kept it inside. But inside, it was growing, stronger, louder, clearer. One day, I was alone. No pressure, no audience, no expectations. And for the first time, I allowed myself to think freely. And that's when I realized I was not living, I was surviving. That moment was the beginning. Because from that day, I started searching. Not openly, but secretly. This is about what happens inside you when you start noticing things you were never meant to notice. You can subscribe now, because in the next part, I'll tell you the first time I questioned everything without saying a word.